I'm not pregnant.
Okay.
The title of the video is
I'm not pregnant.
And I blame you because you said do mischief, so...
They're going to think it's my child. The thumbnail is going to be us two and a sign saying pregnant. Let's do a
No, this is
where
the
we
thumbnail.
look,
This is the thumbnail. Am I... two hands? What are we thinking?
I'm going to look happy about the pregnancy. So you're not pregnant?
No, we're here to talk about clickbait.
Okay, fine. Well, I don't do that.
I don't usually.
Okay.
But my views have been pretty low recently. And also I wanted to prove a point. I don't like it.
I don't think anyone likes it, Hazel.
Yeah, but people like doing it. I don't like doing it even. It's really not a naming and shaming thing, and I'm not trying to call people out and say you're a terrible person. I just can't get my head around. It's one thing to give a video an exciting title. It's another to like intentionally mislead people to the point that what you've put in the title / thumbnail is not in the video.
Okay.
And B, play on their emotions.
Oh.
It really upsets me when I see people use clickbait around tough subjects. There are people now on YouTube who I used to watch, and now I see videos and it has an interesting title and I'm like, oh, I'd like to click on that and see what that's about. But I'm like, it's like the boy who cried fucking clickbait. And now I'm like, actually, that's probably not going to be about what it says in the title, and I actively don't watch it.
It's a modern fairy.
One more time?
It's a modern fairy tale. And none of the villagers watch his channel anymore.
No.
Because he cried clickbait.
Except they do. Except they do in their droves.
I don't think about it too much because I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't like it, so I don't do it, so I don't think about it. If that's what you want to do, then like go ahead, and I guess it's a supply and demand thing because people do click on them.
Yeah.
Do you know my favourite kind of clickbait is the really obviously dreadful clickbait? So for instance, there's a website I go on which is not related to pornography in any way, shape or form. It has clickbait things like amazingly dirty pictures, and it is like just a woman doing something normal, but it looks like out of frame. There might be either a genital,
Singular.
someone's genital, or like this housewife makes 37k by sitting. But I've always wondered where that goes. What happens if you click on that? Because I've never clicked them.
Once or twice I've been lured in by the see what this child actor looks like now ones.
Oh come on, how? Most of them we know anyway.
I know, but some are really obscure and I don't, and I was like, oh, I want to see what they look like.
You'll never believe what X looks like now. The same, just a bit older.
It's the sad thumbnails as well. I fucking love them. Where it's like, oh, I can't do it without giving specific examples.
Go on, we're trying to make Hazel be nice 2K17.
Why should I have to? Why should I have to go around being nice to people who do stupid things? Right, look, someone recently who has a baby made a video, and the title is We Have a Problem, and the thumbnail is that person with their baby, potentially a bit poorly.
It's a newborn baby.
It's a newborn
I've seen this
baby.
one. You just get a bit worried.
That worried, like, and in a genuine way, my heart goes, oh my god, a newborn, what could possibly be wrong? Like, they must have a serious illness or need an operation. It transpires
They just have a bit of a cold.
They'd been a bit ill and were potentially a little worried that maybe the baby might have caught it, but they didn't.
Right, that is a bit tricky.
Because it's just playing on people's empathy.
For hashtag views.
When I was in school, right, you know, when you used to have to make up excuses for not being in or whatever. Or at work, you know, when you're just really hanging out or
sick.
whatever. Oh, I went for Zoolander and you went for Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd want time off and you'd maybe tell them, like, people do this, that someone had died or someone was ill, or I have to attend a funeral.
So, calling in sick when you're not sick is clickbait. Is that the conclusion we've come to in this video?
No, I'm saying
Can I tell you?
I feel bad lying about a sad
Once
thing
or
in
twice,
any circumstance.
Once or twice I've called in sick to work, not my previous job, and I felt actually awful about it. The one time I called in when I wasn't sick, I felt really bad.
Imagine doing that to the entire internet.
Doesn't better think
Imagine
about
that feeling of guilt.
The funnier ones are the ones that everyone calls them out on, where it's like you tripped over your own feet quickly, and the title is I almost broke my neck and died.
Dodie had that thing where she was on a plane that
yeah.
it went up and she fell asleep and they had to turn around and land again at the original airport.
Yeah, because it was going to crash. They had to make a crash landing.
They didn't have to make a crash.
She said that to me.
They landed with a thud.
Right.
Like and then she
and
woke
she's like,
up.
Oh, we're here already.
She thought they were there, and then and the person beside her was like, oh no, we had to come back to the airport. And she made a video about it, and she called me into her room and was like, what am I going to call this? And like we sat there thinking about it, and I was like, We all know what you can't call. Like, you can't say, I was in a plane crash. My plane almost crashed. Like,
Didn't she call it that in the end?
No, I told her she could call it, my plane didn't almost crash.
Oh.
And that would be okay.
I thought it went up and it was going to crash, so she put it down. She was like, guys, I've got this. Walks into the cockpit, lands the plane.
Look, moral of the story, maybe don't do clickbait.
Don't.
It's mean, and ultimately a lot of these people were getting views before they started doing this. They make interesting things, yeah, and they're interesting themselves and they're funny and they have things to say, like just do that.
And the other moral is, no housewife makes 37k just sitting down.
What was that? Explain that.
I
How was she doing that?
I don't know, that I didn't click the link because I was clever enough to not fall for the clickbait. Thank you very much for joining us here on Chewing Sand.
Oh, right.
It's probably going to cause us some enemies.
Is it?
You more
Are
than me.
they not already our enemies?